It's a little dark outside, but what's happening right now is we're gonna have a lunar eclipse, a blue moon, and also it is a supermoon, meaning it's the closest to Earth that it will be during its orbit. So I can go and try and take some cool pictures. I can already start to sort of see it a little bit, because it looks like that the top of it is a little darker than it normally would be. But yeah, I'm gonna go and try and take some cool pictures. I think over at Disneyland might be pretty cool. Maybe I can get the Fortress, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride in the photo, because I think that would look the best. So I'm gonna try and go see what I can do. Not too sure that the moon will be as low as I would like it to be, but we'll see. So I have the times on my phone for when the stuff is gonna happen. So around 4:51 is when the moon should be completely red. And I can actually look at this app that I've downloaded. This will let me know where the moon is going to be in relation to my camera. So it's kind of neat. It's like a augmented reality. Yeah, so it does give me a good judgment for how high it's gonna be. So maybe I can still get a photo. Alright, I just parked and we can start to see it happening right now. The top little left side is starting to get darker, and I think I might possibly get a good view with the tower there. I'm not too entirely sure, but I think this is gonna be my spot right here. We'll see. That's the key word for today. The word of the day is we'll see. Alright, first picture taken. You can already see it happening right now, and I think what I'm going to end up doing is just photograph the moon to get the eclipse so I have moon pictures, and then hopefully I can get the moon to be right here. I think this might have to do, and hopefully I'll get a cool shot. Wow. That was a really fast car. Not really. But yeah, I think I'll just get some eclipse photos right now. And maybe do like a little trail. So I'll set up my second camera to get the tracking where the moon is. So I know where to stitch it all together. Alright, I think I'm gonna try and move over there, because right now in my photo, there's a palm tree and I have a street light really close to it. I mean, I'm still gonna have street lights there, but maybe I can get a cleaner shot of the tower, and then I can still do my stitched photos lining up down like that. Alright, so just that little movement to the other side of here drastically changed where the moon is placed. Let me take a photo with my camera right here. Alright, so you can see the tower over here, and then I have that big power line that I'm underneath now. So right now I can start to see the red glow. Maybe if I take a picture and show you guys, you can actually see it better. We're almost about halfway through the Earth covering up the moon with its shadow there. So if I show you the picture that I got here, we can sort of see in this photo here that there's a little bit of red happening at the moon there. So it's hard to try and balance that. But I think I might end up walking back down there to go further down to try and get the fortress with the moon. Because over here I can't get that, so I'll try different things. This is one of those things where it's all three things lining up, because it's the supermoon, so it's big. We're getting a blue moon, which is the second full moon in the same month, which doesn't happen that much. I have like different angles of the fortress here, so it's still darker, but it's getting redder. Food, because you know, I'm hungry.
beautiful barbecue rib sandwich. Taste the quality. It's actually really not that bad. There's some like barbecue sauce there. Pretty good. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the lunar eclipse photos. I tried driving around to find more spots, but I really couldn't find a good place because I tried Angel Stadium, but nothing really worked for a good spot there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe I got a cool photo. I'm probably gonna go into Lightroom and Photoshop. Maybe I'll show you that too. I really don't know because this is so late for me and it's early morning. It's 5:54. I haven't gone to bed yet. Anyways, I'll see you guys whenever I see you again.
Alright, so I have all of my photos organized to the separate groups of locations and also all the moon phases. So I have a total of 6 different moon phases. I mean, these last two are pretty similar, just it's a little more brighter at the bottom than it is here. But first I'm just gonna go and start editing my photos. So I'm just gonna grab all of these, edit in, just gonna open it in Photoshop, all the layers. So you can see by stacking it, it basically just cleaned up the shadow area a lot more. There's a lot less noise here as there is in the original one single photo. So by stacking more, you kind of clean up the noise in the shadow areas and you kind of get a little bit more detail. It's really not too much different for the highlights here. Like these roughly look the same, it's just less noisy, but I already did add one sharpening layer because it still came out just a little bit softer because it's all of those layers lined up manually, so they can't be perfectly aligned, but we still can just sharpen it back up and get a nice cleaner looking moon. So I'm happy with that. Alright, so first you want to look at all of the photos that you want to stack together. So I have these 3 here, and you want to develop them before you Photoshop them because these are the raw images, and once you put it into Photoshop you won't have the full level of flexibility for sharpening them and editing them. So I've already done all of that stuff here and all of my little blacks and whites and contrast there. So then what we want to do is select these all, right click one of them, and then do edit in Photoshop and do it as layers. That way it will open them all together in one document rather than separately. So then it will pop up all of them in one layer right here, and we'll let that load. So the first step is to align the moon to be on top of itself because it is moving even though I was not. And then you would think that we would just select them all right here, do edit, auto align, and then just let it do auto or whatever. But I found that this doesn't work the best because it skews it, it messes it up, and it doesn't seem to align it just right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out just the moon right here because that's the only bit that I need. So I already have this little thing right there. And then there we go, we have just, and then we can crop this to be just this little moon portion right there because we don't need this whole workspace. So now I like to put a black layer below it just so I can kind of see when I do my next step, and it just kind of cleans it all up. So then we need to align these. So I'm going to put this to the middle of my work area here, and then I'll grab my next image of the moon. I'll zoom in a lot more, and then if I'm on this layer selected and hit 5 on my keyboard, it will change the opacity to 50%,
if you type it in really fast. So like if we type in 45, it will change it to that opacity. If we hit 0, it will do it all the way. So I'll hit 5 so then I can get a good judgment of where to place it. And then I'll hit 0 and then switch back and forth. So we can see that I need to move this up. So I'll just move up and to the right, and I'll keep doing that till it looks like it's in the same spot here. There you go, that looks pretty good. That looks like it's in the same spot. We don't have any crazy movement. We do have some movement just because there's so much noise. But maybe just up one more. There we go. That looks pretty good. Then we'll get the next moon, select that layer, hit 5 again to get a 50% opacity there. There we go. I'll select these all and right click it to convert to a smart object. And then after we convert it to a smart object, we can alter that. We can go to layer and then down to smart objects, then to stack mode and change it to mean, which will blend them all together. And we can see that it did get quite a bit softer, but that's because we're getting rid of that noise. So since we combine 3 pictures, that helps clean up the noise quite a bit. And then I'm going to run my sharpening action that I have, and I run it twice and just drop the opacity down to 40% or so. Then I'll group these together, and then I'll group them together and label it so I know what this is. So by combining all of those, it kind of gets rid of these dark spots, which is the noise, and it kind of smooths it all out to be one color. And then I sharpened it back up so then that way we still retain the detail there. And then that way we have a much cleaner moon, and I'll show you one other example with the building to really see the difference there. And since nothing should be moving, none of these objects should be shifting, we can just go right here and then run my action here. There we go, there's like almost no noise now. If we go super close, there is some, but it's a lot cleaner. Well, there you go. That's the finished photo there. I really like how it turns out. I think the moon, it looks big. It's, you know, it's a lot bigger than what it really was. didn't know, it is a lunar eclipse, blue moon, and super moon, all three things. I think I got some cool backgrounds as the bus drives by. I've been trying to take some cool scenery shots, so kind of neat that I got the trees in the foreground. Well, that was fun. I think I got some good shots on both cameras.